what we call the App Store. This is an application we've written to deliver apps to the iPhone. And we're going to put it on every single iPhone with the next release of the software.
The App Store, launched in 2008, was a game changer. Developers could easily distribute their apps, and users could find and download them in just one tap. In the early years of the App Store, apps were mostly free or offered as a one-time purchases. You'd pay once and you own the app forever, including future updates. However, in 2011, with the introduction of the first subscription-based news app, something changed, and not in a good way. If you are an iOS user like me, you've probably noticed the shift towards a subscription model over the past decade. In this video, we will explore the history of the App Store and its first subscription-based app, The Daily. This app changed the App Store landscape forever. While The Daily itself was a complete failure, it paved the way for a new business model. The business model everyone hates. Sit back, relax, hit the subscribe button, which is free, and let's get started.
The App Store is going to be the exclusive way to distribute iPhone applications directly to every iPhone user. Now, developers are going to ask, well, this is great, but what's the deal, right? What's the business deal? We think we've got a great business deal for our developers. First of all, the developer picks the price. Pick whatever price you want to sell your app at. When we sell the app through the App Store, the developer gets 70% of the revenues right off the top. We keep 30% to pay for running the App Store. There are no credit card fees for the developer. We take care of all that. There are no hosting fees for us hosting the app. We take care of all that. There's no marketing fees. The developer gets 70% of the revenues, and it's paid monthly. This is the best deal going to distribute applications to mobile platforms. Now, we talk about the 70-30 revenue split, but the developer gets to pick the price. And you know what price a lot of developers are going to pick? Free, right? So when a developer wants to distribute their app for free, there is no charge for free apps at all. There's no charge to the user, and there's no charge to the developer. We're going to pay for everything to get those apps out there for free. The developer and us have the same exact interest, which is to get as many apps out in front of as many iPhone users as possible. Now, will there be limitations? Of course. There are going to be some apps that we're not going to distribute. Porn, malicious apps, apps that invade your privacy. So there will be some apps that we're going to say no to, but again, we have exactly the same interest as the vast majority of our developers, which is to get a ton of apps out there for the iPhone, and we think we've invented an incredibly great way to do it, which is the App Store. It's going to reach every single iPhone user.
The first app to introduce the subscription model was The Daily, a news app launched in 2011 by News Corp. Their goal was to provide daily news content exclusively on the iPad through a weekly subscription. With this app, Apple also introduced a recurring payment system for subscriptions for the first time. The Daily was ambitious. It was a first-of-its-kind digital publication for tablets, refreshed every morning with new content from popular newspapers and magazines. Users were billed 99 cents per week or $40 per year. Unfortunately, it didn't take long before problems began to emerge. Despite gaining over 100,000 paying subscribers in its first year, The Daily lost $30 million. The Daily app suffered because it failed to offer content sufficiently different from free resources. On top of this, some editions of digital newspapers were massive in size and took many users 10 to 15 minutes to download. It was a total disaster. From its launch, The Daily was a bold experiment in digital publishing. From today's perspective, The Daily looks like it was ahead of its time. Although The Daily app eventually shut down, it paved the way for a significant shift in how apps monetize. The subscription model was born. and it was about to change the App Store forever. How profitable is the subscription model, and why are almost all developers switching to a subscription model rather than a one-time purchase? You see, subscriptions offer a more predictable revenue stream for developers. Instead of relying on single purchases, they receive a steady flow of income, which is crucial for continuous app development and updates. But it's not just about developers. The App Store also prefers subscriptions because they keep users engaged and coming back spending more and more money. From a financial perspective, a subscription model is way more profitable than a single purchase. Let's have a look at some numbers. Customer lifetime value represents the total revenue a business can expect from a customer during their relationship. In a subscription model, customers continually pay over time, increasing their CLTV compared to a single purchase, where the revenue is earned just once. Let's compare two examples. A one-time purchase. A customer buys an app for $10. The business earns $10 upfront. After this purchase, no further revenue is generated from that customer unless they buy another product. Let's take a look at the subscription model. A customer subscribes to an app for $1 per month. Over a year, a business earns $12 from that customer. If the customer stays subscribed for multiple years, the revenue accumulates exponentially.
Hey fellas, look what I found in my pocket. Look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons. See that? A fun coupon.
And here's the trick. You don't own the app when you pay the subscription. You own the right to use some of its premium features for a limited period. Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum chairman, once famously said, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." The subscription model, however, has its downsides, especially for users like you and me.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
Here's why I'm not a fan of the subscription model. First, the costs add up quickly. With so many apps requiring subscriptions, we end up with multiple monthly payments. Second, there is no guarantee that the service will remain the same. An app or game you love might change drastically, and you're left paying for something you no longer find useful. Take the example of the Filmic Pro app. Filmic Pro was one of the best video apps for iPhone, initially offered as a one-time purchase. However, the app shifted to a subscription model, suddenly charging users monthly fees for features that were once included. Users, including myself, were very upset. The backlash was significant, with customers expressing their frustration over being forced into recurring payments for an app they had already paid for. I was so mad at this developer that I even left my first negative feedback in the App Store. Eventually, the developer had to bring back the previous version of the app for those who had purchased it in the past. Adding to the annoyance, every time I opened the original Filmic Pro app I bought as a single purchase for $15, it promised me to install their new app and buy a subscription. This pop-up window is incredibly frustrating, and I see it every time I open the app. They try to push me to become a subscriber. The subscription model has severely impacted apps and games on iOS. Many fantastic one-time purchases apps have transformed into subscriptions or disappeared entirely because they can't compete in this new business model. Many developers who once thrived on one-time purchases are now forced to adopt subscriptions to stay afloat. This change disrupts their revenue streams, often reducing their loyal customer base. Users who previously enjoyed a reliable, feature-rich app for a single fee are now being asked to pay recurrent charges, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. For gamers, the situation is even worse, often leading to free-to-play games with constant in-app purchases. These models are very cruel, and are designed to force players with a free initial experience to quickly turn into expensive ventures, as users are prompted to buy items, unlock features, or remove ads constantly. This approach simply ruins the overall gaming experience by prioritizing profit over gameplay. Free-to-play games are particularly dangerous. They might seem like a great deal at first. The app is free, cool. But they often become unplayable without making purchases. Whether it's buying extra lives, special power-ups, or even ad removals, the constant interruptions to encourage spending can be incredibly annoying and even lead to mental issues. Take a look at this guy. This man spent $70,000 playing a mobile game.
ご飯食べてる時もお風呂と寝てる時以外はだいたいあと車運転してる時以外は触ってると思うんですけどね。多分700万ぐらいは。
85 quid left in the bank and I'm gonna spend 60 quid. I've already spent 120 quid. That's a lot for me who doesn't have a stable job because I'm in uni. Give me this shit. Give me this shit. Give me this shit, boy!
How to make the App Store great again. Here's my take. We need a balance. We need a dual pricing model. Give users the option to make one-time purchases for those who prefer it, encourage developers to offer reasonably priced subscriptions along with one-time purchase options. By adopting this strategy, we can ensure that the App Store remains a place for innovation, diverse business models, and an excellent user experience. A balanced approach can lead to a healthier ecosystem where both developers and users are happy. Users have great apps and games, developers have money. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you prefer one-time purchases or subscriptions? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And remember, you can unsubscribe from my channel at any time. Peace.